Is it possible that human beings are actually from the stars? Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. What a statement. And for some, this is actually laughable. Of course, they're not. They come directly from a very strong lineage, that biology of humanism and humans on the planet that you can track backwards and see in the evolution which is evident. Oh, really? Dear ones, more and more science is starting to look at some anomalies of this evolutionary chain. The ones that you've read about for years in your textbooks, where you can see the seeming evolution of a human being. And you can see the pictorials where they start to show the evolutionary silhouettes, where you go from the crouching animal to the human standing up straight. And this is what has always been there for you to see. The assumption, of course, the one that everyone takes for granted is, of course, you graduated and evolved like all the other animals on the planet. And here you are, the top of the evolutionary chain, and you came from all of that which preceded you. Oh, really? I would like to tell you that what is taking place now is better science. Better and better science is able to look carefully at your ancestors' DNA, taking a look at what it was, what it became, and then suddenly it was changed. You're going to find more and more of those who study that which is your anthropology, saying that there is a startling shift in all that took place in human DNA approximately 200,000 years ago. This is not something from Kryon. This is something from research that has been seen. Even some of those programs that you tend to watch for entertainment are starting to then report in their documentaries that those before 200,000 years ago were different from you today at the DNA level. So instead of having a progression of evolution which would create the DNA you have today, there was a marked disturbance, you might say. And what took place is remarkable. There was a stop, you might say, of the common 24 pairs of chromosomes that all humans had up to 24, up to 200,000 years ago, as I say, and then suddenly there were 23. Look at this again and hear what I'm telling you. If this is so, and you went from 24 to 23, and it seemed to happen in a small geological window of time, it means you actually didn't come from what is here. You are not a product of human evolution at all. Because what took place could not have been natural evolution. No way. Those who study the humans before you with 24 pairs of chromosomes and compare it to your 23 knows some startling other shifts in your DNA. Number one, where did the 24th pair go? Number two, take a look at some of the other pairs that became something else. Take a look at number two, for instance. Do your own research if you wish. I'm telling you what they have discovered. And then there are the bold scientists who say this: we have looked at evolution all our lives, and we've studied all of our lives, and what took place in that small amount of time could never have been evolution. It wasn't natural selection. it had to be intervention. Is it possible that the human beings have come from the stars? The story that I have given from the beginning is that there is such a majesty involved in all that you are that you're not aware of. The greatest mystery within is what happened to that human being with 24 pairs of chromosomes. And what happened that would have given you 23? Is it possible, dear ones, that there was intervention? And if there was, who gave it to you? And this is where it gets extremely esoteric, unbelievable, and eye-rolling. So I will give my version, and then perhaps I'll just be quiet. Well, you give me yours. You see, yours won't be any different. If there was intervention, it did not come from Earth. It came from somewhere far away. And it came from those who knew about DNA and not just intervened and changed yours. This is where it gets good. But they came on purpose, on time, with love, in order to give you the seeds of their own DNA. You might say they moved over some of yours and gave you theirs. I know it sounds preposterous to some, to many, and yet the more science is involved in the examination of what took place, the more bizarre it becomes to the reality you expected. What if from the stars there were those who came to change your DNA, to prepare you for another kind of human? Let's call it the new human. A human that suddenly has tools that it never had before within higher consciousness. The ability to grow into that which is a high consciousness of compassion, for instance. In order to grow into that maturity that would someday look at itself and say, we didn't come from anything here. And you didn't. And who again is responsible? I want you to look up into the stars some night. And I want you to realize something. You're not alone. And the thing that I want to tell you, that I've said so many times to you, and hopefully this is the first time you heard it, is that this particular planet is one of the last ones to be seeded with any kind of life. And in that, there are tens of thousands, if not more, of planets that have life like yours, far, far older, which have graduated into very high consciousness and have alighted together even within a family that knows each other, all looking at you, waiting for the point at which you become less barbaric, you might say, where they can greet you in love and say, there is a family out there. Look in the sky some night. There is a family out there who knows who you are. And one in particular is your starseed. One of the closest constellations is the Seven Sisters. It's a group of 9 planets, 9 stars rather, numbers of planets that go around those stars, 3 of them significant, creating that which we will call the mother energy. where you came from, the seeds that you carry today are Pleiadian. That is what is in your DNA. And dear ones, you can examine it all you want to. And you're going to find more and more anomalies from the 24 pairs, the humans right before you. You're different. You're very different. And what makes you so magnificent is that those who seeded you were from an ascended race. Let me tell you something that won't make any sense. Tell me how you think space travel is going to be. How long will it take to get to those stars? Based on the technology you even expect, how long will it take you to get to another star cluster? The Pleiadians came here without vehicles. They entangled their consciousness with that of the planet, and they arrived instantly. There are those who say there's no such thing as faster than light travel. They didn't travel, dear ones. They entangled their reality with yours. These are the things you don't expect. These are the things that are eye-rolling to you today, but as science processes this and proceeds and years go by, you're going to say, oh, now we know that's possible. Oh, now we see what's happened to your DNA. Oh, perhaps we ought to consider that they are real. Your history is filled with stories that make the ETs and those from the stars your enemies, your conquerors. What if it were the absolute reverse? What if the lowest energy of all is here on this planet, and the highest energy is what you're looking out and seeing in the stars? What if indeed that the star stuff out there is the star stuff inside you? If this is true, aren't you curious about when they're going to meet you, or what they might say? If you're curious about that, I will give you another fact, another thing that perhaps you need to know. They didn't leave. You can still meet them here. Not in a form that you would even recognize. How many angels have appeared in the scriptures, seemingly out of nowhere, giving loving messages to humanity? Were they really angels? Or were they perhaps something a lot different than any of you ever would have imagined? What if they were from the stars, helping to continue to guide humanity to a place where it would grow into maturity, become a compassionate race, and start the same process that they had for an ascended planet? I just gave you information that most do not believe on this planet. They do not. More and more of you will begin to ask the question, why do we have 23 pairs of chromosomes? That's the question you will ask. And it's going to beg an answer, and the answer is because you did not come from anything here. Do you like this message? Has it made you think twice? Well, it gets better and better. For as you grow into the maturity of the compassion that is within the seeds of your DNA, as you start to grasp the importance of what we have told you is happening within you and in the invisible portions of DNA that are from the Pleiades, you'll start to see, maybe, just maybe, This is the hope for the planet. And that you were seated by those in love that knew that this time might come for you. And here you are. Are you going to believe this or not? There is more to come. There's more for you to see. And someday, it will all be validated. Get ready. And it will be done not in fear, but in love. Call it a reunion. I am Kryon in love with you all. And so it is. Hi, everyone. The short Kryon channeling you just enjoyed is from our weekly 90-minute healing program called Healing Wednesdays. Interested? I invite you to find out more at KryonMasters.com/HW.